Hey dear friends, it's Chris here. So today I'm just gonna do a probably shortish WIP Chat. I just kind of impromptu. I don't know, just to let you know, not that I have much going on, but just to show you what I'm working on and talk a little. So here I have, if you have, okay, I'm going to turn this off real quick. So this is one of the canvases I got from DIY Digital Art to review. It's a square. It's a 40 by 50, and it's those like crows or ravens, in this background. So I actually just started this today, and this is what I've gotten done so far. Down here, there's a lot of color blocking in the background. The birds are kind of the only areas where it's more, I don't even want to call it confetti, but there's more color changing. Basically, all the background is three colors. There's an I, yellow, and an F and a B, So, before I start actually talking about me, I'll tell you about the canvas a little bit. So, I'll turn it on while I'm doing this. Well, actually, yeah, alright. So, it's interesting because the diamonds are really nice and everything. And like I said, I like the artwork, of course. And I don't generally do squares from really anywhere but Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs, so I'm kind of used to their things. I have done a squares from other companies, like I have done one or two from companies on AliExpress, and I did, let me see, I have done two Crafty Mint, and those were the Crafty Mints I really like doing. Well, at least the first one. The second one, which I actually just finished, the Pink Beast, that was a Crafty Mint. It's not that I didn't like it. The actual canvas was okay, but or doing it was okay. So this is like the only other out of those kind of three companies, well, plus a couple on AliExpress, I guess, that I'm doing a square from, because again, squares work. I don't love them. I do them occasionally, and so but I figured I wanted to get one to try out for here, and this is my observations, at least with the squares so far, and how I'm seeing them. So generally, when I've done the squares from like Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs and Crafty Mint, so those three. The other ones I don't remember, it was too far. The AliExpress ones are too long ago, but the other companies. So what I've noticed is two things. First, that's different from this canvas. First is the diamonds are, when people hear, like, oh, you can hear them clicking or when going to place. Here, that doesn't happen. See, I know you can't see too well, so I'm not going to really demonstrate. You'd probably have to be different angle. But if I did like a checkerboard, or if I did like, a diamond kind of shape thing and put the old diamonds in, there's no clicking, there's no togetherness. So if you want to say it is all gapped, I guess you could say it is all gapped. The diamonds are, I don't want to call them too small, but they're not snug in there. So I'll just bring it up to see close. See, it doesn't look bad or anything. It's just, everybody says, most people at least say when they do squares, you could hear the snapping into place. There's no snapping on this. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I probably prefer it if it was just a teeny bit more or they were just a teeny bit larger. But it doesn't look bad. You have to deal with the eye and mind games like I do especially when I do squares. You know, you have the light pad on like I do. I could see, you know, the light all through the squares, and it doesn't matter whether it's this one or something like a Dreamer Designs or Diamond Art Club. I could always see it, and I'm always, you know, messing around and trying to make them perfect, even if they are looking really good, because you could still see the light coming through the sides of them, and that to me drives me crazy. But I have to kind of tell myself, that's normal, just turn it off and look, and it looks fine when it's off. So that's the one thing, is that they're not tight at all, which is good, because actually that means it's no popping. They won't pop off, I should say. There's no question about that. And like I said, when the light is off, it looks good. So it's not really so much of an issue. But where that issue comes in just a little bit is with this. The grid. Again, on the other kits and companies, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the grids, how they, you know, grid them out on the squares on the canvas, they're probably more either lighter color, or their colors, they're of the color of the of that you're actually putting down. So in this area, they'd all be like a yellow color, and here there would be a black color, you know. Whereas, unfortunately, they grid the whole thing out in the dark black, you know, in dark black, kind of like a training wheel. They're basically a square training wheel, I would call them, just like on the rounds when you have canvases that have the very dark, or very black, I should say, training wheels on the circles. That's what this is. And normally, it wouldn't be that much of an issue, I guess. But since they're not fitting snug here, I would say I'm not really noticing that you can see through it, or the black comes through. But I don't love that, and I kind of have to be more wary, or I'm wondering more what it's gonna look like when it's finished. Again, sometimes with the training wheels kind of thing, even on rounds, it's okay, and sometimes you can see through them because of the shading. It looks, especially with the lighter colors, it kind of looks, there's what I call like a shadow of it on some of them, and sometimes not. So it's hard to tell right now because I'm looking at it, and it looks okay, but you know, again, I don't know. To me, it does look like, because the drill goes down. Now, again, if you just put the one drill down perfectly, it covers the yellow area, but it does not cover the black grid. You could see the black grid even if it's placed exactly perfectly down here, which kind of is not great. So that's kind of my only issue with it. I don't think it looks bad now that the light is off. You could still see it perfectly, or it doesn't necessarily look like there's black there. You can't see the lines or anything, but I do think because there is a tiny bit of the gapping, they're not completely snug, there probably is just a bit of a shadow, at least up close. Now from further away, it probably is perfectly fine. I go on and say all that to say, I know that was a long thing, but you know me, that's how I do it. I can't help but talk and ramble on about that. So that's how I see that. So I am enjoying this though. Usually, I like color blocking, but I don't usually like this much color blocking. I tend to find that's too tedious, and especially with squares, they can get wonky looking to me. But they're going down actually really nicely, really straight. I've done color blocking with Diamond Art Club with my Christmas morning and everything, and also with that crafty mint that I just finished. where, you know, there's been areas where I've had a large color block area and you had to put down the same color in all these lines, and it just kind of looks weird, or it doesn't look straight. These are actually going on and looking really straight and looking good. Now, maybe that's because of the grid here. I don't know. Maybe because the diamonds are probably a bit tiny, this fraction smaller than those other companies' diamonds. I don't know, but it's certainly more enjoyable as far as I'm having a more enjoyable time doing this than I actually did the other ones, because again, they're going down nicer and they look nicer, you know, as far as being placed. That's just me. So I'm kind of happy with this. I'm not giving it bad marks, you know, again, even though I probably, you know, I guess there's a pro and a con to when it comes with this grid thing, but who knows? Maybe that's just all in my head. I don't know how you all feel about it. Have you done ones where, you know, the whole grid is like these completely blacked out grid? See what I mean? So, but like I said, I'm actually really enjoying this one. Actually a lot more than I enjoyed the other couple, so that's a good thing. And that's actually probably the most important thing. Okay, so just to conclude, I'm glad I got this. I'm really liking it so far, and well, I mean, to conclude talking about the canvas, I'm going to talk about something in a minute. Just move on. So this DIY digital one, I'm happy with. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it. So let's move on to the week. Okay, hold on a second. So I'm kind of feel like a mess. I don't know. I'm in a little bit of funk, you know, just craziness. So let's go over to what the past weekend or so. So as I'm sure you could see if you've seen in my other video, whether you watched it or not, there was, and of course if you live in this area, which is the Northeast in the US, there's a snowstorm, blizzard type thing going on. That was last week. And then over the weekend, we had more snow, probably about 4 or 5 more inches. And actually, after the blizzard of last week, a lot of it, not a ton, but quite a bit of it had melted. Because the sun we had a couple of really sunny days, plus it had gone up to the 40s. So a lot of it had melted, which was good, but then the snow came again, I believe Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday it came, this past Sunday. And since, of course, it's stayed because it's not been warm, it's been cold and not really sunny too much. Overcast, I guess. So Sunday was not great because, of course, I fell on this ice. Now, luckily, I wasn't injured at all really badly. You know, first off, if you know something about me is that I don't deal with pain at all well. I'm not a pain person. I have literally zero tolerance. If you did a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being tolerant, 10 being, you know, not tolerant at all, I'd be like a 250,000 on that. I can't deal with pain. So what was like a little pain, well, so that's just how my mind is. So I'm lucky that my fall was okay. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. And while I do have a little pain. It's not nearly as bad as it could have been. So what had happened was, I wasn't sure if my fall exasperated a little bit of a couple issues I was having already, or if it would just, it was the cause of it. Because I had two issues. Well, the first one was, so on Sunday, I was really tired because I think the night before I really didn't sleep well. So, I got up really early, and then, in the afternoon time, because it was snowing, morning, afternoon. And so I decided to lay down a little bit in the living room. And I don't like doing that because I get a really stiff back when I lay in the living room, and because there's we have an adjustable bed, and then that's another story you don't need to know about. But there's a bed in the living room. So this mattress is not good for my back, and I get kind of stiff back a little bit. It'll go away after a few minutes when I get up, but it's just not enjoyable. That's for sure. After laying down, and that's like after like 30 minutes. Now I was laying down for like probably an hour and a half. So that's one thing. And then also, but my back wasn't an issue with the fall or anything else, because I did get up and it was stiff, but again, it went away. But as soon as I got up, like maybe 5 minutes later, is when my dad said, "Oh, we should go out and do the snow now," because it was basically stopping, and we wanted to get it done before, again, it was probably like 4:30 before the sun went down. So, and I had just gotten up like 5 minutes before that. So, that I would go outside. He was not out yet. It takes him longer to get ready. And that's when I fell. Excuse me. So, so what I did is, I felt like after the step, because there's a step in the backyard, that's where I fell, or I slipped, and fell, I guess. Usually too, which is infuriating to me because I have pretty good balance, especially, I guess, for a big person and everything. So usually, even when I normally would, in a kind of situation like that, would like have this, feel the slipsies, I'm able to catch myself. But this was not even a close to just, a little slip of the foot or be trying to stop it. No, as soon as I must have had my left leg already on the ground part, and then I went down with my right, and that's when it happened. I think my right leg is the one that slipped, and it was just like the whole, slip on the banana peel. It's like right down, and I didn't fall on my back or my butt. I fell on my side, my right side. And again, it was, I guess I'm kind of lucky, especially Chris over here with no insurance. So I was lucky. Nothing got broken or sprained or anything like that, thankfully. I could have, listen, when you fall, you could really hurt yourself, either frontwards or backwards or whatever. You could hit your head. I could have hit my head. I could have, broken something. So luckily, basically okay. But the whole reason why I'm bringing up the sleeping and the whole thing is, so I get up, I'm okay, for the most part, and right, like a minute later, I can feel like my neck was kind of, I felt a little something in my neck. It was kind of like had a little of a twinge when I would turn it, the left side, when I would turn it a little bit. And so I was not sure if that was because of the fall or because when I was laying down in the living room, I had the way had my pillow and was laying down. Did I like put a crick in my neck doing it that and Is that why now my neck is hurting? Maybe the fall exacerbated it. Maybe it was like a whiplash from me falling. I don't know. But luckily, so I was kind of worried about that. That's the only thing that really bothered me at first. So luckily, it wasn't that bad. I did, the shoveling stuff. I came in, I took ibuprofen, and really by the next day, it didn't really get any worse. It didn't. It started going away little by little. So luckily, that turned out fine. Now the other thing was kind of my knee. Now again, this is the weird part: is that the parts that hurt me were the parts that I didn't fall on. But the knee, though, I didn't fall on it, but I kind of it was my left knee that started hurting a little bit that night. And while I didn't fall on the left side, I fell on the right side. My left leg kind of did whatever you want to call it, either, I don't know, a jackknife or a dog leg or something. So while the right side of my body fell straight, my left side with my leg, it kind of went, my thigh is like this, and then my leg went like that. So I kind of again had an L, and so again I could have messed up that knee pretty badly. And so then when it started hurting me a little bit, I was kind of worried. But again, luckily, it's really, I'm sure, nothing. What it really felt like was like a bruise, kind of like if you bump your knee into something. And, it didn't turn black and blue, it didn't swell up or anything. But it kind of just felt it felt like sore, like maybe you hit your knee on a table or, in the door or something. So that's kind of what it felt like. But I've been really kind of babying my body since then. We had to go to the store the other day, so I was really careful. And every time I had to go out, like today, I had to take the garbage out and bring the cans back in. So I've been really careful, going very slowly, grasping anything I can to make sure I have a balance, or some sort of thing so I don't fall. But usually, again, I'm very careful. I'm usually really not prone to, losing balance or falling or slipping or anything. So that seems to be okay. But, definitely the left side of my body, even though I fell on the right, my left is the one that's been kind of a mess. And then of course, and also with the knee, what I was worrying about too was, again, what I was thinking, okay, so did I just exacerbate it, or is this because of what happened, or because I fell, is it worse? Because the night before the fall, I was in my bed, and I kind of had my right side is my dominant side, so I have more, I guess, flexibility, with my right limbs and stuff. So that's not a problem. But my left side is less so. So I was playing with my heel, doing something, and so I had my leg basically, kind of bent up, messing around with it, and it was like that for probably 10 minutes, and I had to stop because it was kind of, I was stretching, so then I could feel a cramp coming on, so that's why I had to stop. And my knee didn't really feel bad. It wasn't liking that I was bending it like that. So again, then the next day when I fell, it's okay, so is this pain from the fall? Is it from doing that? Is it both? But again, luckily, I don't really have the bruise pain. I call it a bruise pain. It's kind of gone away, and I definitely had to be careful the day or two afterwards, getting up, because that's when it really hurt, was kind of when I would get up from the sitting down. When I would walk or just lay down, it was pretty much okay. It was just getting up was, I guess, when you put the pressure on it, which makes sense. The most pressure, I guess, is the bending of it and putting the pressure. But like again, walking, it was for the most part okay. I could feel it a little bit, and going up and down the stairs, it wasn't great. Again, it was kind of like getting off the chair. But again, the ibuprofen, I actually did put ice on it the day out. Was it Monday probably? The next day, for a little bit in the morning, and luckily it seems okay. So it's just been a mess. And then again in that leg, so not only I had that, then I had the cramp. And when I get a cramp in my legs, it kind of that pain lingers on. Like for me, like for a couple days, I could still feel where it was cramped up. It feels sore in that muscle. I don't know if you all get that. So there was that. And then in my ankle, it was kind of bothered. My ankle kind of bothered me. I don't know why. Maybe because, again, was it because of the fall? Was it because, whenever you hurt something, you kind of, move differently. You kind of favor things differently. You act more gingerly, and it puts pressure on other parts. So now was my ankle, not happy because of it? Who knows? That's kind of the only thing that still bothers me a little bit, is my ankle kind of at times is a little bit sore, or has this weird feeling in it. But again, I'm kind of lucky nothing really bad happened, and again, I'm kind of lucky that there wasn't as painful as it could be, because believe me, like I get a hangnail and I'm in like agony, so it could have been a whole lot worse. And then today I have this little WIP Chat's really a Chris's medical ailments. So right now I have a stuffed up nose, which is kind of commonplace for me. I haven't been able to breathe regularly, I don't think, ever. My nostrils or my nose is generally permanently stuffed up. I haven't been able to fully breathe out of either side like my whole life. So there's that. And especially now it is, and I can't blow my nose because I'm on camera. Because that's kind of rude. And who wants to hear that, right? And then I have a little bit of a headache today, my shoulder ache, which I haven't had in a long time. I used to have this shoulder pain that went in the back. Like whenever I have headaches, usually if it's either a sinus headache, which knock on wood, please don't come. Those are the worst when I have sinus issues. Ugh. And or my headaches tend to be on the right side of my head, in the back, by my neck. I used to get them all the time, but actually since I had my new bed for a couple years now, I have an adjustable bed. I haven't had that issue, but maybe once or twice, if that, even, I don't know. But I used to get those kind of headaches, every couple months, and it used to be a headache into the shoulder and top of my shoulder and neck, air on the right side, and that would usually last for like 2 or 3 days. But that's kind of a little bit how I feel today. I don't know why. I don't think it's gonna be like that, and again, I took aspirin just before. So yeah, I'm just a bit of a mess this week. Beyond that, I guess everything's okay. Nothing really changes around here for me. But that's okay. I kind of like it that way. Let's see. I hope you all are enjoying whatever events you're in, if you're doing diamond painting events. I'm not doing any. That's a long story for another time. Maybe for my next WIP Chat, which I'll be doing one for my Spell Queen, Rainbow Tree people thing, which I'm also working on right now. Usually I don't work on 2 at the time, but I really wanted just to try this one out, and I'm having such a good time with it. I've done all this yellow part today, and I'm kind of just flying right through it. I'm just really enjoying this one. But maybe with the next one, WIP Chat, I do maybe early next week. Well, I don't know. I might record it and then put it up next week. Because I might be, if I wait, I might be done with it. The other one, I mean. Kind of why I don't really want to do too many events, and there's so many of them too. My goodness. But I hope whoever's doing them are having fun. I hope all the event sponsors, like a number of my lovely diamond painting friends, are having a good time doing it. And I hope lots of people are entering. And, I support you all from afar. I'm just sitting here doing my own thing. Alright. So, with all of my complaining finished, and my nose stuffed up, and my throat getting sore, I guess it's probably time for me to leave you. It's about half hour now of me just, complaining and going on. No one likes to complainer, but I love complaining. Anyways, so here's what I've done so far. And usually I don't even diamond paint like this. I do it in sections. But I decided, for whatever, this is the kind of thing where there's so much color blacking in these certain areas. I'm going to do these areas first, all these color blocked areas, and then I'm going to do the crows after the back is done. I never diamond paint like that, but with this one, because of the way it's set up, I'm going to do it that way. But how do you all like it? Let's see close up. What do you think about that, what I was saying? Can you see an issue with that? With the black grids? Excuse me. I really don't. Again, I'm kind of looking at it, even holding it up. I think it's going to be probably okay. But, up close it looks fine. So, and even holding it up, I think it'll be okay. Alright. Well, I'll leave you all. I hope you all are doing great. Oh, before I go, let me just show you another little hack. So I'm using this Spell Queen tray, which I'm really loving. But it has this spout, which I'm glad it does. Now remember, and if you watched another video, I was telling you how in my other tray I would get hand irritation or because it would drag along here. So when I started using this, it was the same thing, only because of the way it's set up and it's bigger, and my irritant would go now on the spout. So I was thinking, how am I going to stop this? I don't really think there's a way. So I actually then tried to do, someone suggested putting, using one of the, I don't have it, oh, here it is. One of the hand grips and like cutting it and then putting it on here. And that actually does work, but it moves all the time. And, the diamonds get caught in there a lot. So I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? So when my dad makes like kind of things at work, so I gave him this and said, can you make me like a stopper? Well, this is connected, but also I also wanted him to make me a stopper, because another issue I was having with this, why I love the tray, two things. Number one is when I would chip it down like this to get the diamonds out to put them back in the thing. Sometimes, see, it happened right now. If my hand or my finger isn't like exactly cutting it off, some of them, the diamonds would just fall out the side because it would just slip down. So I was like, oh, I can't. And there's another reason, but I can't remember now why I wanted the stopper. Oh yeah, and just for shaking it, just to keep them in for when I shake. So he makes stuff at work, and so I asked him if he could make me something that would do it, and he did. And so he made me, it's just out of this like a plastic thing. It's just this little rectangle thing. And so the rectangle, it goes right in here. But I was still having problems, obviously, with this, and now with this, with the hand getting on my palm. And so all I did was, I was like, okay, how am I going to fix this now? I don't want to put glue on the thing he just made me, and, with like I did with my other tray, with the Dreamer Design bag. So I took a Band-Aid, a small Band-Aid, and I just put the Band-Aid over here. So here's the soft part. And this Band-Aid, this is one of those cloth Band-Aids. I don't like those plasticky ones. So it's like one of those cloth Band-Aids, and I just put it on there. And so now I have my stopper here. And now when I diamond paint, my hand still touches, but it touches here. So it's not really irritating, nowhere as much as that. And so I have my stopper, so it stops here, and I could, mess around like that. So that's just a little fun family hack I got for you right there. All right, enough of me talking. I gotta go. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be happy, stay safe, stay happy. And until next time, bye guys.